Yo, what's up, everybody? We're back with another episode. Diego's just running a little bit late. He's going to be here. But today we are talking about practice without boredom, fun and smart ways to level up your DJ skills at home. So I feel like practicing is one of those things we all know we should be practicing, but we don't always get time to do. Today we wanted to talk about how you can practice at home, ways to make it more fun, and even talk about is practicing even important? And there he is. Yo, Diego is back. Everybody, don't worry. The
What's up, guys?
power is still on. This isn't like that
Yeah,
situation before.
yeah, my bad, man. Had to step out real quick.
No
But yeah,
worries,
man.
bro.
Welcome everyone to the live show. Hopefully today it's a very useful topic for you guys, and the reason why we decided to bring it up, or at least me, I decided to bring this up. It's because I was, I don't know if you guys seen like Shay's Instagram or like mine, where we're just doing like different mashups, or we're mixing, practicing, quote unquote practicing, and I just thought about how can we practice, without making it, without being boring. Because think about it, if someone like, let's say, Body or anybody that's an older or very seasoned DJ that has about, like over 20 years, how do you practice without getting bored so quick, you know and so that's what got in my head, and I was like, maybe we should talk about this. And since we're a little like newer, we should have, we can say the way we do things. And please, on the comments, make sure that you post how do you practice to so you can avoid, that being so like bored, or like, oh my god, I'm done, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, usually, do you have like 45 minutes for practice? Do you do like by hours? Like, how is it that you guys practice to still, better your craft, but at the same time not make it boring? So we're gonna get started with that. And so Shay, that was my first question. How do you process the way of practicing, or how do you decide, okay, I'm gonna practice for this long and this type of music? Like, what's your process?
Yeah. I always number one, like I'm not like great about practicing. The thing that makes me practice is when I have a gig coming up. So I would say one good way to stay motivated to practice is take on gigs that are a little bit different sometimes than the ones that you like always do. So imagine if you just do the same type of wedding all the time, and you're playing the same music. You're gonna just kind of get caught in that cycle of playing the same songs, knowing, okay, I know all the classic wedding stuff. But like we talked about before, that's one of the reasons why I like to take some of these events with like younger people. For you, it's already kind of built in with the Sweet 16s, but like taking events for what college crowd kids, or Sweet 16 parties where you're kind of forced to play newer music that you may not know, and that'll force you to also practice it. Because when I have a gig coming up, I'm practicing like every single day. Like this past week, I had this wedding where they wanted some like the different type of music. I was literally practicing every single day, and when I'm practicing in that sense, what I'm practicing is, one, I have to listen to the music, but number two, I'm also thinking, okay, like in this song, when's a good time to mix out? When's a good time? When does it kind of like die down? It forces you when you have events. So what I say is that number one, there's a lot of more that I'll get into, but number one is take some of those events that you wouldn't normally take, for the sake of, hey, this will be a good practice, or this will force me to practice. Obviously, if you're having if you're booked out with weddings and stuff, sometimes it's hard to find time if you're that busy. But most of us, I feel like there's weekends where you can take an event. Maybe you won't take something because of budget or something. Usually, but take a random event, force yourself to practice that way, and that way you'll also become a more versatile DJ.
Okay, so
What about you?
basically, you only practice when you have gigs.
Yeah, no, and then there's the making the mashup stuff, but whether that's practicing, that's a little bit different than practicing in my head.
I mean,
But
it's
like
still
practicing,
practicing. Because I mean, you because I don't know. You say you do it live, like at the first try you get it.
No, no, of course not. That's
Okay, so
for
you're
that.
practicing before
Those
being
ones,
practice.
before I do it, I practice that
Exactly.
mashup, but
Okay.
it's not practicing in terms of thinking like, all right, like what I'm gonna do at the actual event itself.
Okay. So I mean, okay. So
So
let me.
Smiley's here, yo. What's up, Smiley?
What's up, Smiley? Hey, Smiley, how do you practice at home? Do you do like hour? Do you go by hours? Maybe like 30 minutes, 45 minutes every so often, or do you have specific days that you decide that you practice at home? To just get better or whatever? Keep your skills fresh or whatever. But Shay, back to what you were saying. So let me. Man, I lost my thought. I had a question based on what you said. Uh, okay, so you said that you basically okay with the mashups. You what's your process on bringing those two songs together, like
Yeah,
mashing
so
up
for
the two
those,
songs?
I'll be like, usually the
You
way I
just
think about it is, I'm like, all right, there's this song. I'll hear a song and I'll be like, oh man, this song. This is a nice song. Like I want to try to come up with a mashup for this. So first, I got to get the inspiration from a specific song that I've heard.
okay.
Then what I do is I'm going to the library, and I'm like, all right, what's a good one that'll fit with this song? Like I'll try a bunch of different things. And now with stems, it's so easy. You're like, put a stem, put an acapella, and I'll try a bunch of different songs. Then I'll
Okay.
kind of decide, okay, which one sounds the best, with these two songs together, and then I'll try to figure out, okay, what's the good part of the song to mix out of, what's the good part of the song to go into, and then I'll decide based on that, like, okay, this is the good part, and then I'm like, all right, now let's record this and then post it. How do you do it?
So okay, when it comes to practice, I have like let me fix my yeah. So when it comes to practice, I have like several different ways because again, I don't want it to be boring. When I first started, it was literally just be matching and song from song to song to song. And once I got good at it, which it doesn't take that long to get good at, like practicing, like be matching,
Yeah.
it became a little hard for me to keep doing it. So I was like, I gotta figure out a way that to not like do it, to not get tired or not get bored. So I started implementing, like I started researching that you could do wordplay. You can do like there's so many different ways of mixing that I was like, oh well, that's interesting. So that's what got me to start doing different things. It's the fact that there isn't just one way to mix. So
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
way. And when it comes to like do mashups and like things like that, kind of the same way as you, I listen to a song. Let's say I'm going to soccer practice or whatever, and I'm listening to a song, and then in my head it pops up, oh, this song sounds very similar to this one. Then I write it down. I write down the songs. Then I go home, I come to my computer, search a song, listen to both songs, see wherever I can mix in, mix out, or like stem in, stem out, whatever. Eh, but it's a process. But when it comes to like practicing, and I said this before, I have a couple things. So one, quick mixing. That's one that keeps me fresh because you have to think fast. And I usually what I do is I go to Serato and I choose like I want to say 25 to 30 songs uh around the same BPM, and then I put them into like the prepare section. And in my head, I time myself and I like, okay, I need to fit all these 30 songs in less than 2 minutes or 5 minutes. I don't know. So and then I'm pushing myself to make sure that the mix the quick mixing that I'm doing, one, it's on beat, two, makes sense, and three, it's like that is it's not 100% perfect, but that is good. It's good for me to do that. Now another way that I practice is I have my daughter come up to me every now and then when I'm playing music, and she's like, just throw me songs, and I have to figure out a way to make it fit.
Hmm.
So I have that too. I have the luxury of having people like my wife. I can tell my wife to, hey, give me a song. But I usually know that she's more into like the Spanish, and my daughter will go more into like, well, she also like will give me Spanish music, but every now and then she'll throw like a English song or whatever, and that's like trips me out a little bit because it's completely different genres and stuff. So it makes it fun because my head is thinking and it's fresh. It's not out of memory, you know.
Yeah.
Literally, I can beat. I've done. I don't know if I have it like on a video, but I've done where I beat mix without looking at the thing. So literally, I'm like, my controls in the back, and I'm doing this. Like,
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah, beat
because
matching, once you've done it, it's like,
yeah,
easy to do.
exactly. So it, it's very redundant and it's very repetitive when
Yeah.
you do just beat matching. And I know there's like a lot of DJs that don't even beat match. They just fade out, fade in, fade out.
Yeah.
And I mean I guess that's fine, but in in my in my way of process or my way of thinking is you need to have different ways because you don't want to do the same thing every single transition that you do.
Yeah.
It becomes repetitive, boring, not good. So you should always have different ways. Go ahead and say read what my Smiley said.
Yeah, Smiley said, I'll practice at least twice a week, about an hour or so each day, working on learning more on my crates that I don't really use to implement them somehow. Yeah, that's a good way to do it because sometimes just being like, okay, I'm going to be in this genre or whatever, maybe you'll say this genre, or I'm going to go between these two genres, but then you're kind of trying the songs that you don't usually play. Like there's songs that we know, like I'm like, oh, these are the go-to ones.
Yeah.
Sometimes in your crate you don't go deeper than that because you don't need to at a party. But
Hmm.
when you're practicing, it's like, okay, let me try mixing with all the songs that I don't usually use. And then sometimes you're like, oh wow, this one's a banger. And sometimes you're like, sometimes I'm even like, all right, this song I need to just take out of my this crate completely because I'm never gonna play this song again. So that's a good way to practice is try the songs that you don't usually play. And then he said, I did went ahead and got DJ Studio with the stems. It was $145 on Memorial Day weekend. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of YouTube videos with this DJ Studio. Yeah, have you seen those, Diego?
No, no. What
Yeah, it's
is
like
it?
this. It's right, Smiley. It's a software where basically you can like make mashups and like kind of like Logic or Audacity. It's similar to that, but it has like stems and lets you. It does some of the DJing stuff for you. Like it'll do some of the beat matching. It'll arrange songs in a certain playlist. So it's almost like an AI like DJ, but it's basically like an Audacity though.
Oh, okay. So it's
It's
not like
not live. It's not live.
crate hackers. Crate
No, no,
hackers.
no. I don't think I'm not really sure with crate hackers. Like, I know it's like more like playlists, but this will actually you can make the mixes with DJ Studio. So
Oh,
Smiley, you're probably thinking of using this more for like the mixes that you make, right? Like the ones that you
the
do
Kingston
online.
mixes.
So yeah, 145. I still use Logic because now on Logic you can do stems also. That's a new upgrade for Logic Pro. So that's pretty cool. And then
Oh,
Smiley said, "Yeah, it has AI, so it'll help mix music." Yeah, I think that's what's cool is it'll like if you give it a playlist of songs, it'll arrange them like so that and like put the ends over each other so that it like beat matches one into the next.
okay. So it's basically a fade in, fade out
No,
software.
it'll beat match too. So like it'll beat match. It'll beat match. Like let's say you give it like all right, I want to make a mix with these 5 songs. Then
Uh-huh.
what it'll do is it'll arrange them all like in the best order, based on BPM, and then it'll like at the end of the first song, it'll like decrease the BPM a little bit, increase the other one, and then it'll crossfade them, and then go into the next one.
So let's say, oh, Smiley, maybe you can answer because you use it. I don't know, but let's say you have a 70 BPM, 100 BPM, and 130 BPM. How would that match up? How will you put it together? Like 70 to 100. That's a big jump.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's
Would
see
that
what
work?
see if he knows what it would do for that. But yeah, that's like the idea of DJ Studio because he's probably to make his mashups. It might be easier to do on there.
Yeah,
But that's That's the
probably.
one that's like it's not. It doesn't do it live though, so it's not like we were talking about maybe like a long time ago, like about AIs and replacing DJs, and the AI is gonna like be able to read the room and stuff. It doesn't do that. Like you can't play it live, but let's say you have like a cocktail hour mix or something. You want it to do like a continuous cocktail hour mix, which doesn't
Mhm.
really matter. I mean, no one cares about beat matching when they're at cocktail hour. But let's say you wanted to do that, then you could put all the songs in there, and then
So,
it'll make a long playlist for you, basically, with everything beat matched at
so
the.
Shay, let me ask you a question. When you practice, I mean, whenever you practice, 'cause when you have a party, you practice. What genres do you usually go for to practice? Do you go
Yeah,
for the
usually.
safe genres or no?
Yeah, I mean, I like to sing. I'll never practice like country music, like whatever. I'll practice the genres that I'll play one day, like at least at some point, because I'm not gonna practice something that I'm never gonna play. So I never practice like rock, like how like there's some of those rock songs like the
Yeah, yeah,
sing along. I'll never practice that because I'm like, look, if I book a client that wants that, like those kind of songs are usually played from beginning, like the beginning till a lot, like the end, or like multiple verses. So I
hmm
won't practice it, but I'll try to do hip hop, I'll try to do reggaeton, I'll do all the Indian music, I'll do like Afro beats, stuff that I'll play at some point. So I might be like, all right, the way that I'll practice is I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna do just like 20 minutes, and I'm just gonna be like going through these songs, kind of like Smiley said, trying to pick songs that I don't really know as well, like stuff that I haven't really mixed, or because there's some songs I'm like I memorize this whole song, I know exactly what comes where, so it's like practicing with those is like I play them so much, but I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna go between these genres, I'm gonna jump between these genres, and then I'm gonna try these songs. And then what I'll do is, how there's a comment section on the side of Serato. So
yeah.
I'll if I find a good mix, like if I'm just practicing, just messing around, jumping from genre to genre. If I'm like, oh wow, that was like a nice transition, like those two songs transitioned really well, I'll write in the comments like, goes well with blah 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 blah, or like goes with this song, and that's how I'll discover like, okay, like this would be a good potential song to like go in and out from in the future. So basically, I'll do that. I'll pick those genres that I like, and then I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna pick random songs in these genres. Let's see what Smiley said though. He says, I got it for the stems because Serato and Virtual DJ, you have to record the track to use the stem at a certain part. With this, just use the stem in any part and export it as MP3. Yeah, that's a good that's a good feature. He says, so if the it says the BPM or harmony is off, you can mess around with them, the built-in effects to make it work. A good one is like a scratch effect. Yeah, so it sounds like it can't really do much with the big BPM changes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's the thing. Logic. If you have Logic Pro, that's one of the new updates. If you update your Logic Pro, you get stems now. So it literally splits the song into like five. It has like five different stems, and they're pretty good quality. So I've yet to use it yet, but it's kind of cool. You don't have to now record the stem off of the Serato and then import it into the other program and take all those extra steps. And Buddy's in the house. He says that's why I do Twitch. Sup, y'all? Yeah, that's true. That's true, man. I haven't live streamed in a while since like COVID, but that was a huge benefit of live streaming. Is it's just practice. You're just like playing random songs. People sign on. People will make someone like make
Request,
requests.
request songs. Yeah.
And you just like it's low pressure too. It's not like clients are watching you necessarily. I mean, they can, but it's just low pressure. It's kind of for friends and if you have any followers. So yeah, that's a great tip to do, is to just stream, and that'll motivate you to practice.
Yeah. So, well, I'm gonna talk about, buddy. How do you practice before Twitch? Like before Twitch existed, back then, you have a lot of years in the business. How did you? How do you start practice when you started, when you were like in intermediate, and now that you're a pro? How was the transition? Is it like less time, or like more time, more practice, different styles? Like how did you practice moving, growing? Because that's the thing. When you the reason why you want to practice is because you want to get better. You want to better your craft, and you don't want to sound repetitive. So the way I practice is I don't usually practice with like I don't use reggaeton to practice because it's just very easy to do. Reggaeton is very easy. Um, House music, techno music, all of that is very easy to do.
Yeah.
So what I would do though is I'll start with that type just to warm up, just to like start singing and feeling the music, whatever. Then once I'm already like maybe like 15, 20 minutes in my practice session with this type of music, which is the easy part, then I'm like, all right, I'm good. Now I can start into like salsa. Salsa, it's very hard because it goes like this. One song, it goes up and down because of like the instrument. Majority of it is like live recorded. So it's really hard, but it's a good way to work your ears, and that's another way. Uh I do, like I said, I do like a warm-up type of mix my first 20, 15, 20 minutes. Then I start doing a little more difficult, which is like salsa. I want to put sometimes I would go salsa, merengue, cumbia. I started to put like trying to mix all of them to like together different. Then I tried to do it, but without headphones, like just by ear. I'll play the two songs and start like beat matching and like or finding ways. I already know majority of like one of the biggest thing here is knowing your playlist. Knowing all of your playlists and like Smiley said, when you practice, don't go with what you already know. Go and use the music that you don't know,
Yeah.
like you haven't heard before, or like things that you don't use that often. Why? Because the things that you use every single event, it just becomes a habit, and you just I don't not without thinking you're already doing it.
Yeah.
So that's not practice. You're not practicing. If you're playing the same music that you play at an event, you're not practicing.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing is use stuff that you don't usually use, you know?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then like, making mashups, that's why I think it's a little different because the mashup sometimes I'm using songs that I know, but I'm like, I just haven't made a mashup with it. But
But
like the practicing, I'm like using stuff that I'm like, oh, like this has been sitting in my crate maybe, but I just haven't played it in so long, you know?
Well, with the mashup, you can use a song that you already know, but bringing in a different tone or a different instrument, an instrumental,
Yeah, playing
or
it differently. Yeah.
it's that's practice because you can do that live. You probably haven't done that live before, but
Yeah.
then if you practice and you get it good, you can do it live. Like the one uh they're not like us with the cumbia one that I did, dude.
Yeah.
I did it at a party after I practiced it here,
Yeah.
and it went off the roof. It was lit.
Yeah.
Like people were like something like minor thing, right? And then I just dropped the cumbia one, and then the Americans were like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like so it was lit. It was fire. So things like that is what you look for at events. You don't want to be so repetitive at every single event because then
Yeah.
how are you gonna set yourself apart from
And then
everybody?
sometimes then you can choose, you can be like, all right, this time this crowd that mashup won't work, so I'm not gonna do it. But this
Mhm.
crowd, it just the playing original would work. So then you have an option. You can be like, do I play that? Do I not? Especially like with not like us, it's like that's a song now I play it so many times. But I have a mashup with that too that I do. But sometimes I'm like, this crowd that mashup's not gonna work.
Yeah.
So then you have options, like even if it's a song that you're like, I can do this, but I don't have to. It may or may not work depending on then you can do it depending on the crowd.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm saying. If you practice different things at home, you never know, but you might get to an event and be like, "Oh, I remember I practiced this. This might go well with this crowd," and just do it.
Yeah.
Another great thing is like you said, taking events that are like home, like house parties or graduation parties. Those are at least for me, those are practice sessions,
Yeah.
live practice sessions, and you get paid for it.
Yeah.
So that for me, it's like the best because one, I get to be as loud as I can, well, as loud as I want, because in my house I
Okay.
can't be that loud. Um, then I get to see what works best for like the type of crowd. I get to try things without being scared of like messing up, even though it's getting paid and whatever. It's a different vibe. It's not a wedding and it's not a quince, so it's not like to this level of importance. It's still important. Don't get me wrong, but it's maybe it's more lenient.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's less.
might
There's
be
less.
more
It's not
lenient.
like formalities and like
Exactly.
all the
It's just
attention isn't always on you. Like sometimes people are just vibing, they're just walking around. That's why even like similar to that, like even at a wedding or something, or like a more formal event, you can practice a little bit in those like dinner time. Like you could still be using songs that are like upbeat. They're in your dance crates or your they're in there. They'll be like, hey, like let me play with this song. I haven't played this song in a while, and you could like mix with it at dinner. So I'll do that too. Like at the beginning, like people are coming in, or like there's something going on where everybody's kind of talking, but people aren't really listening to the music. That's when I'll experiment a little bit. Like I'll play some songs I don't usually do. I might try some like looping stuff and practice a little bit in that way during that time too.
so for at least for me in dinner, I call that warming up. I'm warming up for the party, for the
Yeah,
party
yeah.
part. Uh,
Yeah,
but
it's kind of like what you call it, but it's like that's kind of similar too. You're warming up, you're playing some of those songs, like that maybe in your case, maybe you might play the stuff. You might have some songs that you play for your warm up, but it's like you can play some of those songs that you're like, I wouldn't play this on the dance floor tonight. I'm not ready to play this tonight, but like this is a pretty cool, hype song. Like it still puts some energy. You pick some of those ones that are like, oh yeah, this I forgot about this one. Let me try mixing it and see how it like how I
for
like it.
for a wedding or for a quince, I mean, no, for a wedding, do you go for dinner? Do you go with an idea of a playlist that you're gonna play, or
Yeah, I mean
you?
that's the thing. Usually I've asked them. They've given me some genres and some songs to play for dinner.
Uh-huh.
So then, I think we talked about this last maybe 2 weeks ago or something. But I'll play those songs first just to make sure that they hear that I listen to them, and then if their songs are really bad, I'll switch out of them quicker. But then if their songs are okay, I'll try to like later on towards the end of dinner, then I'll start mixing a little bit more.
Okay. Yeah. Well, for me, I do ask my clients if they have any specific type of music for dinner that they want.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, they're like, no, we don't care. So literally, I go and based on like the majority of the people that I see, age and race, I'll base
Go
I'll
base.
base on that. So, and do I have crates? No, I don't have dinner crates. I just go based on what I think it will work. I do have three, four, no, four mixes that I've made that are an hour long. If I don't feel like mixing live on dinner, I'll I'll choose one of those and play it. And they're all upbeat. I don't have any dead type of like music. So because again, to me, we're at a party and everything should be upbeat. Everything should be like like
Yeah.
sing-alongs, but that are fun.
Yeah, that's when those are a good idea. Like
Because
we talked about those sing-alongs, play those
yeah,
during dinner.
because you want to project that, hey, we're having fun tonight. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So that's one of the things that I like to do. I don't like I said, I don't have a folder for like, oh, this is the music that I'm gonna play for dinner. I don't know what I'm gonna play for dinner, unless either I'm not getting a vibe from the crowd, then I'll just choose one of the dinner playlists that I have and play that, and then I can eat. But besides that, usually I am doing it. I'm mixing live because I think it's just better. You get to try more things, and you get to see. people's reactions to different type of genres. Because again, when you have a mix, you might not have hit so many genres. You probably only hit two or three.
Yeah.
That's it. But if you're doing it live and then you see people bobbing their heads to, let's say you're merengue, and then you play bachata and they're still doing it, but then you play salsa and you don't see that reaction, then you know that at the parties itself, you're not gonna put too much salsa because you know that they don't like it, or they're not accustomed to salsa. But you know the merengue cumbia works. But
Yeah.
how would you know that in dinner if you didn't play that because you had like pop, you know?
Yeah.
So those are things to keep in consideration when thinking about this. But again, it's all with practice. It all comes with practice because also you have to know how to like do the mix. See what they like.
That's what I'll say. Just kind of switching the points, but one way to make it easy on yourself to practice is have your setup, like have a setup at home like ready to go. Because if you have to go like this, and this used to happen to me, is when I only had one controller. But let's say you have to go and like dig your controller out of your like, there's like speakers on top of it and everything's like set up. It's in a flight case. You have to go set everything up, plug everything in to then practice for like 20 minutes before like, oh, hey, come time to eat dinner or whatever. The chances that you're gonna practice are way way lower. So that's
Yeah.
why I always keep this LD set up here. I always have my controller. It's all plugged in. So all I have to do is just put my laptop on, and then I can start playing. Messing around if I want to make a mashup. If I want to record, I'll just put my camera up here. Like on a stand or in facing that. So it makes it easier. You're lowering the number of steps you have to take to be able to like hop on and DJ. So if you like, let's say like for you, that's why you bought the Hercules, right? Is like your SX2 was in your lavish booth. My
Yeah.
lavish booth is here. That's just how it is for me. But if you can just buy like a small controller, $250, buy a Rev One or buy something small. That way you can motivate yourself to practice with that rather than having to pull everything out and set everything up and then put it back after you're done.
Yeah, and that is one thing that I was having a really hard time with, and I'm glad you brought it up, is that the setup thing. Because when I first decided to make this, like actually get paid for DJing, I was like, all right, I need to get a controller. So I got the SX2, and it was always in the box, and I was like, okay, today I'm gonna practice. I will get home, and I'm like, "Ah, I had to take it out of the box, and I had to connect everything too much, and then I wouldn't do it. Till
Yeah.
one time I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take it out, plug it, leave it plugged, and then whenever I want, I just come here, turn it on, and it works. So
Yeah.
that helps you too. So
Yeah.
like your background, having your lavish booth there and your Maui there, ready to go, just turn on and it works. That's amazing. That helps you a lot. And just seeing it, because I also have my T7 here in front of me all the time, and so I'm literally just on my computer, like looking at songs or whatever. When something pops in my head, all I do is turn around and it's right here, and then I
Yeah.
just
That's big.
turn on my Mac, because all of my work, everything I do it on my Windows computer, and then all my DJ stuff I do it on my Mac. So I do that literally. I'm here looking for a song or like looking for ideas or whatever. Then I turn around and I'm here, turn on
That's big.
my
That's
mixer.
why like having just have a small, if you don't have one, just get a small controller. It doesn't have to be like your normal size. Like if you use a Rev 7, let's say, you don't have to get a second Rev 7. Just get a Rev 1 or get even a smaller like the $200 one or like little Hercules thing. Just something to like you can practice and
Yeah.
just mess around with it. So let's hit some comments here because we got Smiley first. He says, "Shoot, I give you props. I have a few dinner crates for Spanish and English events, but I keep them with some classic hits and some upbeat with a few sing-alongs." Yeah, that's a good way to do it. And then he says, "I'll have those playing on virtual DJ." And so that's what I have. I'll just find like a good string of songs and I'll hit auto mix and I don't mind like if it goes dead for a little while. But virtual DJ doesn't do that. Serato, the problem is the end of the song there will be
Well, it's
like,
because Serato doesn't have auto mix.
I know. Well, it has
Serato has auto play.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
different.
Autoplay.
Auto play and auto mix is different.
So the
So
virtual DJ, that's a good feature with it. But yeah, I'm like, so sometimes if I'm like I have to go to the bathroom, I'll just hit the autoplay and let it go. So because if when I'm not like actively
that's
mixing,
that's one of the biggest problems I have. If I
yeah,
have to go to
legit.
the bathroom, I'm done because I'm doing it live. I'm
Yeah.
mixing live most of the time.
Yeah,
So
then you
like
just play your mix then and go.
yeah,
My buddy says my wife yells at me about my monitor speakers on the desktop. Yeah, dude, that's always a thing. But one thing is I just like kind of that's my space. So that's why it has to look pretty too. So that's the other thing with the wife. It has to look nice. So if it looks all like stuff is everywhere, but the good thing is the lavish booth, the LD looks good. So I can leave it there all the time. But the
yeah,
second thing is so if you on your program, I didn't even know this until like 2 weeks ago, but you can choose it so that the even though you're using your controller, it'll play from your laptop. I always thought
yeah.
I had to plug it into a speaker, but then I found on Serato there's that button you just press play from laptop, and then even though I'm using the controller, it'll play from my laptop. I was like, oh
It,
god. This
it's
whole
a
time I was plugging it into a speaker. I thought I had to use a speaker when I use the controller.
oh no settings mixer and then use laptop
Speaker.
speaker.
So
Yeah,
anyone else, if you by chance don't know that and you're like setting up speakers, you don't always have to put it with a
no.
speaker.
I when I DJ when I practice I have to use my 8. I cannot DJ with my laptops.
Oh, really? Is this too? It's too. It's
It
not
needs to be
loud
loud.
enough.
It needs to be loud.
Yeah, yeah. I can do it. That's like I don't mind. I do it with my headphones all the time too. But yeah. So that's if anybody else, if you want to use your speaker. And then Smiley said with different genres for sure. He's talking about the auto mix. And Buddy says when we move, it will change. My PRX16. Damn. Yeah, if you can keep that thing plugged in all the time, that'll be more than enough power for practicing. But that was the thing. I used to have my EV. That's what I used to use for practice. But I had it on the ground, and like it didn't look good, Like, but now this thing, the column speakers like look nice too, so they're more acceptable to keep there all the time, just standing there.
Yeah. Another great way to do practice is like Buddy does, which is Twitch or go live on Facebook. Even though Facebook keeps knocking you down, or whatever, like Instagram, TikTok, all of those will knock you down real quick. Twitch doesn't, so you can do that. And I've been thinking about just going live on Twitch, and I mean, I don't care if anybody sees me, but just practice, just for
Yeah,
practice.
just to practice.
But yeah, when the pandemic happened and we started doing live with people and myself, we started doing lives. I like the fact that people were asking for songs because then it will force me to like on live how to like figure out, and they'll be asking for some weird ass songs, like songs that I haven't heard, or probably songs like really old songs that do not go with the flow. But then it got me to like think, okay, this song will go with this song, but then this song can go with the song that they're asking for. So like that thing working in your head, it's just so amazing. It's cool the fact that your brain is working like 1,000 times
It's
faster
true.
than what it is. So, and it gives
And
a
that's how you
flow.
grow, when you put yourself in uncomfortable situations.
Yep.
The Smiley said we used to use my old Sony stereo to practice. That's funny. You probably hotwired it like how
Like,
Diego used to.
yeah.
And then Buddy says the laptop sound card needs to be good. Apple's cards are not good. Sorry, Apple dudes. Look, now that you said that you don't use your speaker, you don't like using the speakers on your laptop. Now Buddy's taking shots at Apple because of
Hold
that.
on, wait. It's not because it doesn't sound good. It's because it's not loud. It's not
Not
loud.
loud enough.
It needs to be, to me, it needs to be loud. That's why I use my Ever's 8 as my booth monitor, and I have it literally like blasting because it has to be loud to me. My 44 G2s, I'm always behind my 44 G2s. So to me, like the people are not, it's not loud for me. It's not loud because you can barely hear the back. You only hear in the front. So I need something loud, and I'm just used to like the loudness.
Yeah, it doesn't sound the same. Buddy says, "Can I hear Pink Pony Club? Can you play it next? We're going in a bit." Dude, that excuse, I never understand that. I'm like, they're like, "We're leaving soon. Can you play it now?" I'm like, all right, then leave. I'll play. You know, like, what, like, why would I play for you if you're leaving? Like, I'll play for people that are staying at the party.
Yeah,
Why is that?
exactly.
Why is that? Like, I get why they say that, but it's like, how is? I don't get why that's a thing. That's a universal thing. People say all the time, like, oh, we're leaving. Can you play it now? I'm like, yo, if you're leaving, I don't give a shit. Like, go. Like, you're not
Hey,
even gonna be here.
another one. That last week I was, excuse me. Last week it was my mother's birthday party, and I was DJing for her families and for the family and friends, and bro, like I had the dance floor was packed, and then just because this guy did not know one song, he turned around and he was just going like this. The whole
Are you
everybody
kidding
else,
me?
everybody was dancing. He turned around, he was just going like this, right? And then I just look at him and I smile, and then he was like, and then I was like,
Yeah, look at
and then he
this.
looked around, and then he was like, and then he
That's
walked,
crazy.
and then he
And
walked away.
it's at your mom's party, so he's like, "This is you're obviously you're the son." He's like, "I'm treating you like there's some DJ that he's paying for," you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's just to me, it's just like the entitlement of just because you don't know the song, you want me to change it just for you, just for you.
Like, dude,
Yeah, no, like, bro, like, you tripping?
that those kind of things, like those are like triggering, you know? It's like, yo, are you serious? Like, who do you think you
I,
are, dude?
I will understand. Honestly, I will understand if no one is dancing and you're
Yeah,
the only one dancing, right? You're the only one dancing. No one is dancing, and then I play a song and you don't like it. You tell me to change it. Maybe I'll change it because you're the only one dancing. But if the dance floor is packed and you don't like that song, don't turn around and tell me this.
yeah.
Like just because you don't like
It's just pure entitlement, dude. Like you're like it's totally just like you said, like they just think like they can have control over it. It's like or it's been like 2 seconds and they don't like recognize the song and they're turning around telling you to change the song. It's like
that's like that's one thing my mom has. My mom has that problem. She if you she doesn't recognize the song at the first 5-10 seconds, she'd be like, "What song is this? Oh man, I don't know this song. The DJ sucks because I don't know the song."
damn, you got a tough crowd then, huh?
Yeah, no, but like no, they party, bro. They were partying.
They're part
The thing is just it was just that moment. Like one song that the guy didn't like.
yeah,
There was a it's because okay, majority of them were like the crowd was like 40 and up. So they're more into like the older like salsa, merengue, cumbia, bachata. But there was also some of her friends were like early 30s and
mm,
younger, so they wanted reggaeton y perreo. When you play perreo and reggaeton, the older crowd's gonna stop dancing. That's not their flow at all. Like they just literally it's like freaking I don't know, like it's like a shooting
oh,
at them or something.
so interesting.
So literally, it was maybe like 5 or 6 of them dancing reggaeton y perreo. So I would kind of lose the crowd, but because they wanted to, they also there. So you gotta play for them too. But then when I went back to like the old school stuff, then the whole crowd because it was more older people than there was actually like youngins, 20s and 30s. So that was it's very difficult at times because we're not a golden coin. We're not gonna no not everybody gonna like us. Like the
Hmm.
way we play or the way we choose songs and things like that. So that's another thing that you have to practice. You have to practice your mental, like being able to take the heat that you're gonna get from people.
That's interesting, yeah, to
Yeah,
practice that. I don't
you
even,
have to practice it. Like
yeah.
what happens if someone does like goes up to you and be like, "Yo, play something else. Like, don't play this shit. Sorry, don't play this."
Yeah, you should tell your family to come up to you and be like, "Yo, man, stop playing this shit. You suck, dude. Stop it. I'm gonna pull the plugs on your speakers."
Yeah, like I'm telling you, man. And then
That's
the
interesting.
one guy I remember one time, this guy he was like from Cuba or something, and he was at the end of the party. Like everybody had fun. I had like a line of people coming up to me like, "Hey man, you did amazing. You're
Mm.
awesome." Whatever. Then he came and he was like, "Oh, hey, you in Cuba, you wouldn't be able to play because it wasn't good." And then I was like, "That's why I'm here and not in Cuba." That's what I said to him.
That's
But that's
good.
when
That's good,
but that's when I was, I was starting. So like back then I was like I didn't care.
bro.
So I was like, that's why I'm here, not there.
That's
And
good, bro.
yeah, and then
Good
he just
response.
like he just like and then walked
Yeah.
away. But then now, if you tell me whatever, I just smile and be like, okay, cool, or like, oh, I'm
I
sorry.
haven't had
I
anyone
don't care
that
now.
yeah, it takes a certain type of guest to like be that bold, but that's a good response though, dude. Let me hit these comments here. We got some more Apple hate. This is, I hate Apple products. This is Smiley. Only reason I have my iPhone for my 360 booth and iPad for photo booth because the app is way cheaper than the Android apps. Dude, I've tried Android. The biggest thing to me though is Android. They don't last that long. Like these, my Apple products, they'll last for years and still work well. My laptops, my phone. So my Android, I had an Android phone. Within like a year and a half, that thing got so slow. I had to replace it, like because it doesn't stay like fast enough for the updates. So Apple, the good thing the good thing is the operating systems. Like you could use it for years and years. Like I've only owned two other laptops in like since well like the past like 14 years or so. I've had only two other laptops. This is my third laptop, like
Uh-huh.
which is crazy. So like there's all the customization, the performance and stuff, but like I want my stuff to I don't like switching out stuff all the time unless I have to. So my Apple stuff just keeps working, man. It's
Yeah,
like Toyota.
yeah. For me, same way. My Apple computer are amazing. The only reason why I changed it is because my older computer like died after 10 years, I think.
Yeah, 10 years. That's a long ass time.
My first Mac died after 10 years, and then the one that I had, I gave it to my wife so I can have this one. It's like more powerful. It's Apple. My phone, my iPhone is my iPhone. I have my iPad.
Yeah,
I
you got
have
everything. You got
yeah, I have everything that I have is Apple because it's just much simpler. I think is I don't know. It's just to me it's easier to use. When I look at an Android phone, I'm like, what the hell do I do with it? Like, where's everything? You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
it's nice. Like the Google stuff is definitely better than Apple, like all the cloud stuff. But it's just the devices don't last as long. That's the biggest thing for me. But we're getting into a rabbit hole with Apple versus Android. So let's keep going on the things here. So Buddy made another joke. He said on the do not playlist, but the bride loves it. LOL. Yeah, that's always fun when the bride loves the Cupid Shuffle and it's on the do not playlist. He
Oh,
said,
okay, before you do that, so what do you guys do in the? Oh wait, so the someone is requesting a song that is not on that is on the do not playlist.
yeah, but they're saying that the bride loves it though. They're
Oh,
telling you the
I
bride
don't know.
loves it.
Nah, you
Yeah.
trip.
Smiley said, "Yo, we had two kids like that at Quinceanera. They wanted us to change it, but the dance floor was packed AF." Yeah, I do the same thing. I do the same thing that you guys say. Like that. It's like, oh, hey, they say, oh, change the song. I just like look at. I was like, hey, look at the dance floor. I just like do that. Look out there, and I just throw my hands up and keep going. Smiley says, we did a graduation Saturday, had a 360 booth. Audio guest book, nice. Had my Phoenix PTUX transmitting sound, had to change channel once, but everything went really great. Nice, bro. Okay, damn. So you had everything out. The 360, the audio guest book, which we talked about last time, and the PTUX, you had to change channel ones. Yeah, that thing, that's the thing. That thing it's kind of, it works, but I wouldn't like rely on it like for a main, like I think like Buddy uses those
Sennheiser?
like the Sennheisers that you can use for the mains. But the PTUX is like like you said, you had to change the channel once, or like you'll hear the interference here and there. Like you'll hear and it cutting in and out if you're using it on like a main speaker. So that's what I like. I wouldn't trust it for something like that. But that's good that overall things went well. And yeah, man, you're selling all the things that you've bought and all the add-ons that you have, man. That's awesome. And then Buddy said, just play freestyle. Everyone loves it. Yep, freestyle. I definitely know Smiley's a fan of freestyle too. And then Smiley said, got a booking with those add-ons also. Nice, man. Dude, you got to give some lessons about like how to sell. Smiley seems like he knows how to sell stuff. Buddy said, my last one was 5 years old, S20 now, S25, the battery was just going bad. That's good, man. I never tried the Samsung ones, or even the Pixel are more like tuned better with the
The Google
Android
Pixel,
operating
yeah.
system. So my S20, there you go. So Smiley's still on his S20. So he's still going with the 5-year-old phone. We just got a video guest book now. Oh, that's new. A video one. So you gotta tell us how that one works then. Maybe let me try looking it up, but it's probably like
video guest book.
it probably has a camera or something. Oh, shit. Let me look at that, dude.
It has to be with a camera.
Whoa, that's interesting. Hold on, let me share this. If this is what it is, then that's interesting, man. So look at that. This is AliExpress, but it's literally a phone, like that old style phone, but instead of the numbers, it has like a camera and a screen on the middle.
So you don't pick it up?
No, you probably pick it up to talk in it, but then it records you as well.
Huh, interesting.
Leave a video. Wow, that's interesting. Let me see. Yeah, or this one. This one is.
Oh, it must be that one because he said that his looks like a payphone.
Oh yeah, it's like this. That's interesting. That's you know what's cool about this? It's like a photo booth and it's like a 2-in-1 photo booth plus video, like a phone audio guest book.
Mm-hmm. And if you put it on wheels, it's a 360.
But it spins around you while you leave the message. It's like, hey.
Yeah, that would be really funny.
Wow,
that is cool though. That is fun.
Cool, man. This is how'd you hear about this, buddy? This is kind of a unique thing. This one has good stars too. Oh.
Yeah, hopefully you make a video using it, so we can check it out.
And it's battery powered. Oh, look at that! Can you see the video? This is a different style, but that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, actually. Huh.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
That's pretty cool, dude.
And
then he says, I thought about the video guest book maybe later on, though. Yeah, you just got the audio guest book, dude. So it's like, that's interesting because it's like you get kind of like a photo booth kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But obviously not as good quality as a photo booth.
All in white, 340. Ooh, $300 for that. Not bad.
Yeah.
Slideshow on it.
You could buy it for like $400.
You can do the slideshow on it. 30 pics. It took 5.5 hours to charge. Okay, so it takes 5 hours and a half to charge. You can do a slideshow. So, so basically, you have everyone leave the message, and then later on, just take out the USB, and then go to the TV on your booth, play it, and then you can, right?
I think so. Or do you mean you can play a slideshow on that screen? So if somebody asks, do you do TV screens? Can I play my slideshow? Be like, yeah, I have a TV screen. Bring that thing.
With wheels on it, everybody can see.
Put it on the Nimbus and then slide it around.
Hey, that's a good idea.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good, dude. That's interesting.
Yeah, and
it's battery powered, so you don't have to worry about plugging it in either.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's
it just
good. That's the first time I heard of that thing.
Let's see.
And video is always fun because then when you look back on the memory, you'll be able to see all these people, like their faces and stuff.
Yeah, instead of just hearing a voice.
Yeah, like the grandparents or something. Like you see their face with a message. Like it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think I like the video one better than just the audio one. Because
maybe you can get one, dude. It's on Amazon. That's a good price.
Yeah, because you can be like, hey, yo, this is Diego. Happy birthday. Hope you enjoy it and have fun.
Yeah.
But then there's like 3 or 4 Diegos. Like, how do I know which one is which? But with the video,
Yeah, you got the
Like
video.
you can see.
$300. Yep, definitely dope. And then Buddy says, I think it was pics of the couple before the guests see it. Yeah, so maybe it shows. He says shows the pictures of the couple. I was thinking,
Oh,
yeah.
wait.
So you can set whatever you want to
So
it.
it
So
looks like a kind of like a screensaver. You can put a screensaver on the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so they
That's a
can
good.
see pictures. Okay,
That's what it
that's
sounds like.
interesting. That's interesting.
But yeah, check it out. This payphone and a payphone kind of thing. It looks cool too. It looks classy.
Yeah, we can't see it anymore because you took it out. But
Oh yeah, yeah. This guy. This is the
yeah,
payphone.
it definitely looks fun.
And it gets 32 gigs storage, clear sound, 1080p, 10 hours battery.
10 hours battery and it charges in 5.5. So yeah.
And connected computer to access the memory card. Nice. Yeah, nice key. Hey, if anyone wants to add, you got the audio guest book and the video one are both good. Smiley says, I'm implementing mine as free for the summer. Oh, that's good. By booking. So if you book the photo booth or 360, then you get this for free. That's what Smiley's doing it. But then the prices for the photo booth and stuff are also a little bit more expensive.
So okay, so he's implementing it like the video one. No, not the
No,
video,
audio.
the audio one for the summer. This 2-3 months so people so he can get content to promote it for the fall, and because that's when like we really get busy, the fall and the fall, winter, all that, because that's when weddings start happening. And the fact that you're able to get all this information, and all of this content to show your future clients, that's even better. But that's
Well, the video, it's even easier to get content because it's like actual video. So you can say, hey, like this is how it'll look. You can show people. And then Buddy says we charge for audio 200 times, $200 each time. We've been doing it for 2 years. So Buddy, are you gonna offer both still, or are you just gonna switch to the video one now? Because I'm like, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know if somebody would will just it sounds like the video would be the better one to pick. So people will probably just go for the video anyways, unless they're like being really cheap. Like, oh, I want to save $100 and do audio only.
Like 100 is $100 worth seeing people's faces while they talk to me?
I guess it's a good way to get them to go up, because you're like, okay, we can do just audio for 200, but just for $100 more, you could get the video one. Okay, let's do that one.
And you can see who said it. So
that could be a good sales strategy. Is keep that just so you can try to upsell them to the $300 one.
Yeah, I mean, I think it should be good to have both. $200 for just audio, or you get for $100 more, you can see who's talking to you.
See, yeah, then like, oh wow, that's a good price. Let me get the video one. And Chin Chillin's back. Yo, Chin Chillin, what's up, man? We were just talking about this thing. If you haven't, this is a exclusive item that Buddy told us about. So it's an audio, instead of a audio guest book, there's a video guest book out now. So you can get that, and it's only $400 on Amazon, and it'll record a video in addition to the audio that guests can leave for you. And then Buddy's gonna charge $300 each time. So if you can sell that, you're gonna make the money back and start profiting really fast on that. And it's a great memory, man. I'm just imagining that's a great memory to have. You have all these personal videos, and in the back of the video you see your wedding happening too, like the lights are going or whatever. It gives you a nice memory as a couple. So
you know what, it would be cool if somehow you can connect that one to a TV on the inside of the party, so as they leave in the message, you can see it. You can see who's doing it.
Some people might want to make it a little bit more private. That'd be funny though, if it was live. People would start doing karaoke or something on that. And then Buddy says, yep, he has them both. And Smiley says, anything to make that extra payment for sure. Yeah, that's true. You basically set it up and it runs itself. Whew, I don't know. It's convincing, man. It's convincing, and it's small. So
those are cool. I like that one. I like the video one more. I feel like it will be much easier to sell than the audio one.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see it if you add it at one of the your next gigs. We might see it on a gig log then.
Maybe. I don't
But,
know. I don't know about that. All right. So just really back to what we were talking about, which is practicing at home. Uh, just a couple of tips before we let you go. We let you guys go. One thing is just even if it's a little bit of practice every now and then, it's better than nothing. That's one thing. So you know, set yourself to at least practice 30 minutes every other day, or an hour twice a week or something like that. It's good for you. It's good to be always practicing because it keeps it fresh. Now the way you're gonna practice, just a couple things. One, you can collaborate with other DJs and find a way, maybe like Zoom, or where I think like I want to practice the way, like, have, like, let's say you say play a song or play a couple, like three songs, and then I'll take over after you, like, like, and then just play music like that. I think that'll be cool, but I don't know how that would work. But
yeah,
I know,
like live.
yeah, but that's yeah, live. But
Yeah,
that'll be I don't know. I don't know how that would work, but I
we
think it
have
would
to
be fun.
fly. We'd have to do a live in person collab.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I think it'll be fun and really cool. Maybe for like our 100th episode. I don't
Yeah,
know if we.
maybe once we start having some sponsors or something, someone to pay for the flights.
Yeah, we can do that. But I think that's one thing that would be really cool to do.
Yeah, that'd be
How to
cool.
get
If
a
we can
three
figure out
thousand
how
dollar
to do that on the internet.
dang $30,000 wedding.
So Buddy says how to get $3,000 wedding. I think he's saying that's how you have all these add-ons. If you have these add-ons, then you can get a $3,000 wedding. Or he's saying that as a topic. That could be a potential topic.
I mean, I'm already around that price, so
3,000 with
um,
the add-ons and with the with the videos.
yeah.
But
I mean, with all those add-ons, bro, through the roof. He'll be through the roof. Another tip that I can give you is try, when you practice, do genres that you don't usually play. That keeps it fresh, and you're not gonna get tired. You're not gonna get bored of playing the same music that you hear at every single event. The reason why you practice is to become better and not to be repetitive. So
mhm.
that's what you want to practice. So different genres. If you usually play top 40s, pop, hip hop, I don't know, man. Play something else. When you practice, play completely different music, like Buddy said, freestyle. I don't know. Go to, if you don't usually play Latin music, play Latin music. It'll keep you fresh. It'll keep you wanting more. Once you start figuring out all these different um, music genres, things that you can do on things that you never done before, that you don't do usually,
Mhm.
then it's gonna help you way more. Also, challenge yourself to rebuild crates. Like, out of the crates that you have, pull, like, create another crate that's called, like, I don't know, BS music,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
a good way to practice. Yeah.
you start throwing songs in there. Or another way that you can practice is put your playlist in, like, what's it called? What's it called? So not by BPM, but like shuffles, like shuffle 'em. Just
Hmm.
grab, or like use the prepare folder. Just start throwing songs, not based on BPM, but based on, like, just songs that you have on your computer that you don't usually use. Practice with that. See the best way that you can put it together. Always be looking out for mashups. Every song that you listen to most likely has a similar sound of another song somewhere else. So that's another thing, and another great way to practice is, and this is practicing mashups, is listen to a song and always think what song could go best with this one. When you get home, boom, 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 and start working it out, practicing it, see if it works, and if it does, record it, put it put it live,
Yeah.
because you never know who's watching. Somebody's gonna watch, somebody's gonna like it, and is gonna tell you, "Hey, I want you to be my DJ."
Yeah.
So
Yep. That's
That's
why
what I think.
that's happened to me. I mean, the Smiley said we were looking to get an LED dance floor also. Wow, man. Those things are just
Expensive,
crazy
bro.
heavy. They're expensive. They're also heavy. So you need to have like manpower to be able
Yeah,
to.
they're like 15,000.
Yeah, the video dance floor is crazy cool. You can get $2,000 just for that. Wow. So yeah, you can make a lot of money, but yeah, it's you need to bring I forgot. Did we ever ask Smiley how he transports stuff? Because then you definitely need to bring like a a truck or
He
something
had,
big.
didn't he say he had the big box in the
The
back of
van,
his?
the Sprinter van, maybe.
I don't know what it's called, but he
Yeah,
has something to
yeah, you
put.
need that's a big operation. But yeah, if you can add that, especially if in your market people don't really carry that. And Shin Chun says, right now I'm sticking with the Hercules Impulse 500. Maybe next year I'm purchasing the Pioneer DJ Rev 7 Golden. Yeah, yeah, you were saying that. So then that's the thing. Then the Rev 7 can be like your gigging one, and then the Hercules you can keep as the practice one. Like
Yeah,
just
or your house party ones.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
that's the reason why I got my T7, because I didn't want to little events. I don't want to carry my live my lavish booth because everything's already built in. So for
yeah.
example, I have a graduation party this Saturday. I'm not taking the lavish booth. I am taking the T7, and I'm still undecisive whether to take my EVs or my Mauis. I like the Mauis because it's just much easier to set up. It's just plug and play pretty much. The EVs I have to put them on a pole and then put the skirt. I don't know, man. Like literally, my idea when I got the Maui 44 G2s was only weddings and quinces. Everything else is gonna be my EVs. But it is so much easier,
It's
so
easy.
much
Yeah,
so much slick, and it looks so nice, and it's so like harmonically the sound is so nice that I'm literally like having a really hard time choosing my EVs over the Maui 44 G2s unless it's a house party.
it's
And
just the weight.
yeah, and even then, because like for the house party that I did for my mom, I used my Evers 8. That's it. That's all I used, and it
Oh,
was
really?
loud enough.
Oh, wow.
So for a house, it's loud enough, and that's what I'm saying.
All right, let me hit these.
Ain't nobody fit nothing in that car, man.
Smiley says, "I'm gonna get sprinter van or trailer. Currently in my car and friends. Oh yeah, your friend has a trailer." And then buddies, Smiley says, "I've seen some LED dance floors chart up to 5K." He said he's not rocking a 1992 Yugo for the gear, and this is this is the 1992 Yugo. He's got a trailer attached to this thing. The trailer is being towed by this car.
There's no
Oh,
way.
he's laughing. He said, "I just paid off my sprinter van. Got it in 2020. Had 9 miles. Now 17K." Yeah, that's the Mercedes Benz Sprinter, dude. But that's what you need. You need to get something like that. But even with the dance floor, I think it's even bigger. Like you need a ramp because you can't even. You have to. I don't know if the Sprinter van has a ramp, but you need a ramp or you need to have something that has a ramp on it to get those things up there. So yeah, you just got to see. A trailer would work, I think.
Like, a trailer might be like the best option, but then
Sprinter van probably has a ramp too, but then those ramps can be like more narrow. I think it's like they're not as wide. But the trailer, the nice thing is if it falls flat, then you can just go up like the whatever that back part.
yeah, but that man, this car is way too small. Nothing can fit in there.
Oh, that was a joke, dude. That was a joke, man. I don't know if you could barely fit like either
I don't.
EVs in here.
My Evers 8 might fit in there,
Evers 8, that's it.
and that's it.
Yeah, that's true. So a lift is better. Yeah. And then yeah, that's the thing. So you got to start thinking about those logistics. You have to get a CDL and you get a used rider truck or rent. It depends how frequently you're doing it, but you could even rent every time if you're not doing
I
it.
mean,
If you're not taking out
if you're at the point that you're renting very constantly, might as well just get one.
yeah. It depends how frequently. But yeah. All
Yeah.
right, we're overtime. We're in OT.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for showing some love on the comments, and appreciate you. Hopefully, you guys got to know a little more of how we practice, and we got to see how you guys, do your stuff. So that's good because you always want to look at different things to not get bored when practicing. And so yeah, thank you guys for your time, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Next Thursday. See ya.